So color of the year season isn't just about the colors of the year. There are also entire color palettes that are made around them by these paint companies. So today we're going to look at Behr Paint's Color Trends palette for 2024. I'm going to give you my overall first impressions, and then we'll take a little bit of a deep dive on these colors. I'll give you my thoughts, and I'll also tell you how they work with the color of the year, which of course is cracked pepper. You can check out our video on it in the cards up top. I'll also leave it at the end of this video if you want to check it out. So right off the bat, when I look at this palette, and I have it right here, I got the MacBook today. First impressions is I see color. I see quite a bit of it. I also see quite a bit of neutrals. We'll talk about that in a second. The thing is, when we're talking about black to start with, which cracked pepper essentially is, at least an off black, there are a near infinite number of colors you can put with it because black is timeless. It's gonna go with everything. Even though cracked pepper specifically does maybe lean towards the cooler side of black a little bit, but not so much that it looks blue, really. Looking at the Color Trends palette, you can see that it's divided into 3 different rows of 5 colors. And just by looking at it, it kind of looks like it's grouped in LRV, or light reflectance values. So the top row are your lightest colors, the middle row is kind of your midtones, and then the bottom row are your dark colors. And to Behr's credit, there are a lot of colors here. There are a lot of different hues happening, different levels of saturation, and I see a beautiful green down there in Mountain Olive, also a delicious treat. It's funny because that bottom row sort of looks like different iPhone case colors for some reason. That's how I think of it. In fact, I have 3 of those colors in the form of iPhone accessories. So yeah, there is a nice bit of color, but I don't really see a ton of overall cohesion here. It's just kind of sporadic. You got gold, you got a bronzy color, you got a crimson red, you got a couple blues. So the variety is there, which I appreciate, but what you sacrifice is some level of consistency, a through line, a clear point of view that Behr Paint is trying to tell us. Now, if you remember at the beginning of this video, I did mention there is one kind of through line, one thing you see a lot of in this palette, and that's neutrals. There are a ton of them. The first row essentially are all neutrals. Maybe you have that kind of pinky one and malted that's a little bit unique. And then the second row, yeah, you got 2 more. What's the deal here? Why is there so many different neutrals? To be honest, I don't know. I think there is a little bit of redundancy here. Even Better Beige, Tranquil Gray, extremely similar colors. Are they both necessary? I'm not sure. And then even Riviera Beach, although a darker version of those kind of warm neutrals, still kind of repetitive. Weathered White is at least noticeably lighter, so a more airy contemporary feel. Maybe for a Scandi enthusiast would be nice. And then Whipped Cream is a white, which is very useful because white you can use on ceilings, you can use on trim, you can use on walls, you can use on cabinets. It's just one of those timeless colors, kind of like black, cracked pepper. So those are the 2 sort of opposites on this palette. Now, even with all these neutrals, which is kind of boring and yeah, a little underwhelming, what you will notice is nearly all of them are warmer leaning at least. Even Weathered White and Tranquil Gray, which are a little grayish compared to the other ones, they do have some beige in them to warm them up. So we're not really seeing any completely neutral grays or even cooler leaning grays. A majority of these colors are going to favor the warm side of things, which has been a continuing trend the last couple years. You can look at colors like Offshore Mist in the palette, which is definitely cooler leaning, but I think it has enough saturation where I wouldn't call it a gray. It is just sort of a pastel, powdery, muted blue. A nice subtle sky blue. Provence blue is almost teal leaning, so there is some kind of intrigue there. There's a little bit of warmth in the form of green. One thing that I like to do as well is I compare colors of the year from this year and last year. So Behr has selected that off black and cracked pepper, and then they had an off white in blank canvas in 2023. I actually like those colors together, so it'd be interesting to incorporate both of those in your color palette. And if you want more information on blank canvas, we have a video all about it right over here. And also check out our Patreon down below if you want more content from us. We do 3 brand new videos every single Sunday on there, so click that link if you want to support us even further. Not required, but totally appreciated.